25 December 1943, Arctic Ocean. Christmas night brought no peace to the Arctic. Winds screamed over jagged ice, waves rose like mountains, and cold gnawed through steel and flesh alike. Cutting through the darkness was the German battleship Scharnhorst, pride of the Kriegsmarine, her hull forcing a path through the frozen sea. On the bridge, Counter Admiral Eric Bay scanned the black horizon. Somewhere ahead lay British merchant ships bound for the Soviet Union, slow, exposed, and valuable. Speed and surprise were meant to decide the night. The storm favored no one, but Bay believed it could hide him. Then the darkness shattered. Star shells burst overhead, ripping light from the Arctic night. Muzzle flashes followed, too precise, too immediate. This was no accident. British warships were already in position. Scharnhorst had been detected. The crew reacted with discipline forged by years of war. Guns trained, engines strained, orders cut through the storm. The ship surged forward, her greatest strength still intact, speed. For a moment, escape seemed possible, but the Arctic is merciless to those who hesitate. Snow lashed the decks as Scharnhorst pressed on, chasing a convoy that was already slipping away. Then came the report that changed everything. A British shell had destroyed the radar. The battleship was blind. In Arctic darkness, blindness was not an inconvenience. It was a death sentence. Bay ordered return fire anyway. The aft turret, Caesar, roared into the storm, firing its shadows at echoes, at nothing certain. Somewhere beyond visibility, British cruisers held their distance. They did not rush. They did not press the attack. Instead, they followed, guiding, steering, shaping Scharnhorst's path without her knowing. Northward. Aboard HMS Duke of York, Admiral Sir Bruce Fraser watched the operation unfold in silence. Radar screens glowed softly in the darkness, revealing what the storm concealed. Every German maneuver appeared instantly, each course change anticipated. Yet even now, nothing was taken for granted. Scharnhorst was fast, faster than anything Fraser commanded. If she broke contact, the Arctic would swallow her whole. The order was patience. Let her run. Let her tire. Let her believe speed alone could save her. The sky hung low and gray when British guns finally spoke in full force. 14-inch shells slammed into Scharnhorst's superstructure. Steel buckled. Fires erupted. Shock waves ripped through the hull. Without radar, German gunnery faltered. Salvos fell wide. Return fire grew erratic. Below decks, damage control teams fought a losing battle, sealing compartments, dragging hoses through smoke-filled corridors, forcing engines to stay alive through sheer will. The ship that had once stocked convoys now absorbed punishment she could not answer. On the bridge, Bay stood rigid. This was not chaos, this was calculation. Every British move carried purpose, every pause was deliberate. The realization settled heavily. This battle was being dictated, not fought. Torpedoes cut through icy water. Explosions tore open the hull. Flooding spread rapidly. Speed bled away with every impact. German destroyers rushed to shield their flagship, but the attackers came from every direction, precise, coordinated, relentless. The aft turret burned, yet continued firing. Smoke rolled across frozen decks, alarms screamed, men slipped on ice and blood alike, still following orders, still holding their posts as the Arctic wind stripped heat from their bodies. Bay searched for an opening, a gap, a mistake. There was none. Every advantage Scharnhorst had carried into the Arctic, speed, armor, the storm itself, had turned against her. Torpedoes struck again. Engines failed. The ship slowed, wounded beyond saving. Water poured in faster than it could be contained. The bow dipped, then sank deeper, dragging the stern upward into the gray sky. Still, Caesar fired one last time, striking a British destroyer, a final act of defiance from a dying ship. They gave the order to abandon ship. Men plunged into freezing black water where survival was measured in minutes. Around them, the Arctic closed in, silent, indifferent, absolute. The once mighty Scharnhorst rolled, groaned, and vanished beneath the waves. Of 1,968 men aboard, only 36 survived. They was not among them. From HMS Duke of York, Admiral Fraser watched the sea settle and acknowledged the courage of his enemy. The plan had worked. Strategy, patience, and discipline had prevailed. But bravery had been present on both sides. The Arctic returned to silence. Convoys sailed on, and the legend of Scharnhorst, her speed, her power, and her tragic end, endured as a lesson carved into icy water. The hunt was over. The mighty had fallen.